Welcome to Awakening You channel. If you appreciate what we do, please support us. Thank you. Dear ones, I am Archangel Michael. I couldn't close yesterday's matter the way it was closed. There is still a lot to talk about, especially about unconditional love. But there were still some observations to be made. So we will continue talking about love, the types of love. So yesterday I mentioned different types of relationships: friendship, passion, brother's love, mother's love, father's love, son's love. Very good. But today I want to talk about unconditional love. I need to mention abusive love. I can even add that there is nothing about love. So it's that being that loves to see others submissive. He practices violence because he believes he has the power to humiliate others through violence. This happens in many ways. It happens between parents and children, it happens between partners, it happens between friends, between strangers, it doesn't matter. It's that need to solve everything quickly. To resolve everything through fights, through violence. So this being, who doesn't understand the power of words, doesn't accept that no, remember? It was probably that child, who grew up without ever hearing no. Everything she asked for she had in her hands, and when she didn't have it, she found a way to get it. It doesn't matter if it was legal or not, the important thing was to have what he wanted. So this same human being is the one who does not admit that his partner does not act the way he or she thinks is right. No. Don't understand that only male violence exists, female violence too. Which often may not be physical violence, but there is verbal violence. Both are capable of causing this, both the man and the woman. And then these beings understand that the other has no voice, the other has no thought, the other has no will, the other is him, the other is an extension of it. So you can't go against what he thinks, since that's a part of him. I'm still talking about a companion. So if someone else has an opinion, they can never. The opinion must always be his or hers, does not admit being contradicted in any aspect. And this expands to any type of relationship with that being. And when he is not answered, when he is extremely upset, he resorts to violence, to show who is in charge. If you don't obey me, you will be beaten. As if that companion was a child, who also cannot be raised with beatings. I would like someone to tell me here, is spanking good? If someone answers me yes, you are as sick as the person who hits you. Because to be beaten is to submit, it is to receive punishment through physical violence. So it's not good, in any sense, in any way. So that being who thinks he is superior, resolves everything like this, through beatings, through violence. And everything has to be as he wants. His will always has to be satisfied, and when it isn't, he rebels. How is it not how I want it? Then you will learn to do what I want. And then it turns to violence. I can extend this to children too, because they think that because their children are small, then the cowardice is even greater, because an adult hits a little one. Look at the disproportion. So there is a total lack of common sense, of hitting a being that has no ability to protect itself. And then he beats him, and often, he even beats him so much that he kills. No, I'm not talking nonsense here, this is in your news daily. You just need to look for it. It's that husband who doesn't accept his wife having personality, and kills her. One less problem in his life. He showed who was boss. She will no longer contradict him. It's really, she won't contradict him anymore. But most of the time, he will pay for her crime, sometimes he won't. No, in the eyes of human justice, but of divine justice, nothing goes unpunished. I'm not here to comment on why that soul is subject to this. That's another matter. I'm talking about human consciousness, I'm not talking about the soul. So for those of you who think you are superior, because there are also women who hit men and hit them badly. And they are often physically strong enough to hurt others. So I would say to you, if there is any example of you here, like this, start to rethink your positions. Because I can tell you with certainty, that ticket, for now, has no chance of appearing in your hand. Because you don't respect others. You don't respect anyone. So this feeling of yours, or you transform and change radically, as you say, from water to wine, or that ticket will never be in your hand. If you're shrugging your shoulders, great. You will exercise your violence elsewhere, no longer here on planet Earth. So when I say to you, do not raise your children permissively, lest you produce adults in this way, seeing themselves as the center of the world, and when they are contradicted, they find a way to eliminate the other person who contradicted them. That one won't upset me anymore. I repeat again, I'm not talking about the soul here, nor about obsession, that's something else. So think about it, think a lot. And then there are those who, at the height of absurdity, molest their children. They see they're a completely defenseless being, who will not defend himself against them. And he does what he wants, and threatens, it rots that child's mind. Because she lives completely in fear. Many don't even understand what's happening, but they feel that it's not good. And they allow themselves to be carried away by panic, fear, threats. What kind of being is this? Then I ask, is this father or mother? There are also cases of mothers who rape their children. Do these parents have any kind of love in their hearts for that child? If you ask them, they will say yes, that they love. Are my kids. But in the sick mind, those children are nothing, they are just a way to satisfy their desire for power. And there is no greater humiliation than sex in this way. It's making sex a weapon. It's the same thing as a father or mother, taking a gun and shooting their child. Because you ended that child's life. She will have problems for the rest of her life. This is if you survive, right, because in some cases, the violence is so great that the child does not survive. What can I say about this father? I will tell you that he is the exact representative of those who dominate you. If you want to look for their incarnated representatives, look for the rapists, look for pedophiles, look for those who use child sex, their way of making money, their way of life, their way of surviving on the planet. Yes, you will still know a lot. But this is food for them. The fear that that child exudes is their food, literally speaking. So in these cases there is no love, because these beings are not equipped with love. So we can generalize them all. Yes, they can, because when someone rapes, there is no such thing as, I was caught for something, I don't know what I did. This doesn't exist. If he was obsessed, he already emanated that. He just had a helping hand to see it through to the end. Because this is not love, this is humiliation, it is disrespect, it is invasion of the other. It is to make that child, or even an adult, whose sex is not consensual. An adult who is raped, life for that adult, or that child, becomes very complicated because of these beings who disguise themselves as humans. But that's not the focus here. So when I tell you, don't get excited about relationships, just because they are a beautiful human, they are perfect. You have this terrible concept of evaluation. It looks nice, so he is perfect. This is where many of you are mistaken, because sometimes, the one who really has a lot of beauty, according to your concepts, because to the above, you are all equal, there is no such thing as beautiful or ugly, you often despise the ugliest, but who would be an excellent husband or an excellent wife to join that beautiful person, who deep down will only bring you problems and disappointment. So learn to know who you have by your side. Don't get excited at first. Don't want to live your life as if the world were going to end tomorrow. The world will not end, you will still have a long time to live. But you don't want to live quickly, without having the opportunity to get to know each other. Because many times, you put these types of people in your house, who are not human, he is dressed as a human. And then you regret it. But that being does not allow separation, he will do everything to kill you. Because he doesn't admit that you have made such a radical decision to separate from him. As I'm the one in charge. So you can't do anything. And it will haunt you your entire life, until it achieves its goal, which is to kill you. But you didn't see that when you met him. Because you were enchanted by his eyes, his face, his athletic physique, he was a perfect man. Perfect for who? Perfect where? In your eyes? This beauty leads to nothing. And now, you discover who that beautiful being actually was. How can you? It's the ugly ones that are bad, not the beautiful ones. That's how you think. Ugly people have no place, because you only see appearances, you don't see the soul, the character, the sweetness in the heart. You are attracted to the physical because you were taught that, to value the carcass, that outfit you wear. And when you disincarnate, it rots. So why so much worship of this outfit? Why so much worship of the beautiful? If one day that beauty grows old, wrinkles, dies and rots and turns to dust? What's the point in that? But that's how you do it. You are attracted to the beautiful. So let's imagine. Please, I'm not here saying that all beautiful people are evil. There are many beautiful people, whose hearts are bigger than their bodies. Please don't generalize what I say. But exactly these beings, who do not have love in their hearts, who fantasize about love for you, most of the time are disguised as physically perfect beings, just to attract attention, just for you to get closer and fall into the web. So how do you find out? Living. Not together. Living simply, being careful before taking it indoors. Seek to know about the person's life, look for friends. Then there's the one like this, no, you're just mine, or are you just mine? I don't want you getting along with any of my friends. Why? Because friends will tell you exactly what he or she is. So the first step is to isolate yourself from the world. Then it prohibits you from talking to friends, family, sometimes even with their children. So that you have no help from anyone, so that your mind does not open and you continue to depend on that violence. My brothers, that's what I said here yesterday, the easiest relationship to succeed is the one between friends, longtime friends. Because you know that one in depth. No one will be fooled. You know exactly what you are putting in your pocket. Not in the pocket to decrease, no, it's in your pocket to carry for life. The two know each other. Not the beautiful ones now, you meet them today, and tomorrow they want to get married, because you can't miss the opportunity, because if you don't someone else comes, or someone else comes and takes that beautiful being. And you won't be able to show it off when you walk down the street, because that's what you like, to display the beautiful being that you attracted. Big advantage. Big advantage. So he always pretended to be a perfect being. It wraps you in that beautiful and wonderful love so that you fall, and before long you are together, and then it ended. Your peace went to space. It is my brothers, it is this third dimension world that you live in, which exactly makes you act thoughtlessly, and then repentance is not enough to get rid of that being. Because they don't admit to being contradicted. They are extremely violent and that supposed love that they said they felt never existed, because they don't feel it. There is no love, in the dark incarnates, they just want to hurt, humiliate, keep them on a short leash, to assert their superiority, and see the fear on the face of the other person he lives with. This is how he feeds, because if he is not afraid, that human carcass starts to look weird, they no longer maintain all that beauty, because they need to feed on their fear. So he does everything to keep you more and more terrified, and this feeds his human outfit. It's my brothers, many looking to the side and trying to understand whether or not their companion is a being of non-light. And I will tell many of you, that you will discover just that everything I said here will fit together. So, what to do? Running away is no use, he will come after you. There's no point running. You have to fight, and fight with what? With light weapons. That's it. The war is to envelop them, he or they, in light at all times. And I guarantee you that, in a short time, they will leave your lives, because the grace for them has lost. They are no longer fighting with a silly being that they threatened and diminished, and kept silent. They are now seeing a street light, and that is not good for them. And then they will leave you aside. Go away. And so know how to free yourself, my brothers. The energies are there. Dress in light at all times. Don't let yourself be subjected. Surround them in light, in white light, yellow light, violet light, green light, whatever light you want, but let it be light. Ask the universe to take this being away from you. There are many here thinking, but there are the dark ones who are of the light. Yes, I agree. Now, dark ones who are of the light do not act this way, they act like enlightened human beings. You don't need to be afraid of others to survive. Why not? Because they transmuted that evil into love. So it's like he effectively became a human. So these you can trust. It's not because his soul is reptilian or draconian that you have to crucify everyone. No. Those who are enlightened act as such. They do not humiliate anyone, they do not rape anyone, they don't hit anyone, they are beings of light, effectively. They become of the light, and do not need fear to feed. So don't judge everyone, by some.